They came in the clouds, they ruled the land, and then they vanished. The Tuatha De Danann, once called gods, now dismissed as myth. But what if the stories were never meant to be stories at all? What if Ireland's most ancient legends are fragments of a forgotten truth? One involving hidden technology, higher beings, and a layer of reality we're not supposed to see. In this episode, we explore the mysterious origins of the Tuatha De Danann and ask the question, were they really gods, or were they something else entirely? Long before the rise of kings and kingdoms, a strange people arrived on the shores of ancient Ireland. They were called the Tuatha De Danann, the people of the goddess Danu. No one knows exactly where they came from. Some said they sailed from the north. Others believed they came through the sky, descending in thick clouds that turned day into night. But no matter where the stories began, they all end the same way. The Tuatha De Danann were not like us. They brought with them weapons that never missed, a cauldron that never emptied, a stone that could choose kings, and a sword that could not be escaped. 4 sacred treasures, each tied to one of the 4 mysterious cities they were said to have come from. Cities filled with knowledge, cities lost to time, or maybe hidden by design. The Tuatha ruled for generations, not just with strength, but with something deeper, wisdom, power, and presence, the kind that doesn't come from this world. To the people of ancient Ireland, the Tuatha De Danann were gods. But what if they were simply more advanced? Not divine, but operating on a level humanity couldn't understand. Think about it. A sword that never missed. A stone that could identify rulers by some unseen force. A cauldron that could endlessly provide sustenance. These sound less like enchanted relics and more like high technology. Replicators, biometric scanners, energy weapons. It's not the first time ancient cultures described godlike tools. The Sumerians had tablets that could control destiny. The Vedic texts describe flying ships, weapons of light, and even matter manipulation. The Tuatha fit right into that pattern. So maybe they weren't supernatural. Maybe they were operating outside of natural law as we know it. And to the people watching from the ground, that difference looked like magic. The Tuatha De Danann ruled for generations, until they were defeated by a new people, the Milesians. But here's where things take a strange turn. The Tuatha weren't killed, they disappeared. According to legend, they retreated underground, into sacred hills and mounds scattered across Ireland. These places are known as She, and they're not just poetic tombs. For centuries, locals have believed they're gateways to another world, a world just beneath the surface of this one. What if that wasn't metaphor? What if the Tuatha didn't die or vanish, but instead shifted out of phase, into another layer of our reality? Underground cities, dimensional portals, ancient bases hidden in the Earth's frequency map. The idea isn't as far-fetched as it sounds. Myths across the world tell of powerful beings retreating into mountains, caves, and inner Earth sanctuaries. They never leave. They just go somewhere we can't follow. Over time, the Tuatha De Danann faded from legend, but they didn't vanish. They changed names. In later Irish folklore, they became known as the She, the people of the mounds. Eventually, that term became something more familiar, the Fae. But these weren't the cute winged creatures of fairy tales. They were shapeshifters, tricksters, gatekeepers of another realm. They could manipulate time, warp perception, and lure people into their world, sometimes never to return. And those sacred mounds? Locals still avoid them. Even today, construction crews are warned not to disturb the Sidhe. There are stories of equipment breaking down, workers falling ill, entire projects mysteriously halted after digging too close. Coincidence? Or are we dealing with protected sites still monitored by something that doesn't want to be found? It's as if the Tuatha didn't vanish into history. They simply retreated into the background and made sure no one followed. The Tuatha De Danann didn't vanish. They shifted, out of sight, out of memory, but maybe not out of existence. What if the stories of the Tuatha, the fairy mounds, and the shape-shifting Fae are all distorted memories of a higher intelligence, still operating just beyond the edge of our perception, something layered into the fabric of our world, but hidden? In simulation theory, there's the idea of a render range, that the world only loads what we're meant to see. But sometimes, something slips through, a shimmer in the forest, a voice in the fog, or an island that shouldn't be there. The Tuatha may have been entities who never left the system, just migrated to a layer we can't access. Or maybe they were here to help design it in the first place. Beings who seeded civilization, introduced structure, and then retreated once their part was complete. Like programmers stepping back from their creation, letting it evolve. Ancient texts in other cultures describe similar figures, beings of light, wisdom, and control. The Tuatha De Danann may not be unique. They may be part of a global framework, remembered in fragments, different names, same presence, and they may still be watching, waiting, not above us, not below us, but behind the veil, in the hidden layer.